Alright guys, we are back as promised. We are doing our Champions League episode. I know we probably should have done it last week, but it was a little hectic here last week. So, we're talking about it this week. Just as a little extra bonus content for you guys. So obviously, as the title is, going over Champions League, as I already said. So you may have noticed that there are changes in the Champions League this season. I'm not so sure what brought these changes on, and I'm not really a fan of them, but game's the game. So last season and seasons previous, we have had group stages where you play 2 times against the same team, a home leg and an away leg, and you try and get the most points that you possibly can. And they've changed that. So now we face 8 different opponents. We play 4 teams at home and 4 teams away. And the objective is to keep advancing through till you get to the final. But to get out of this big league table group I don't even want to call it a group stage because there's not really groups. But to advance into the next round, you want to finish within the top 8 so you get an automatic bid. If you do not finish within the top 8, teams 9 through 24 end up going and playing a knockout type leg thing game. I don't know if it's 2 legs or 1. But in order to advance through. So it's kind of like NFL playoffs, but with a bye, so the top 8 teams get a bye. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm gonna go about explaining it. But I much prefer last season's where it was the group stage and we only had to play 3 different teams, 2 legs, a home leg and an away leg. And then the top 2 qualified out of the group, and the third went down to the Europa League. But they're not doing that this season. They decided to change it. I'm not really a fan of it, but whatever. Whatever.
Anyways, here what the scores look like, the tables currently. We'll insert a photo somewhere around here.
One of the sides. So, some teams that I'm shocked about include RB Leipzig, Girona, PSG, and Real Madrid. Those are like the 4 that I'm like, how are they that far down into the table? I mean, I guess with Girona, I'm not like 100% shocked about, considering I think they had like a wonder season last season. But I did not think that they were going to lose 3 out of their 4 games. I thought for sure they would tie at least 1, and they haven't. So that's unfortunate. Leipzig, I did not expect them to lose every single game that they've played so far. Granted, I don't know their opponents, but they definitely shouldn't have lost this last game, but you know, whatever. And then PSG, they're okay. I think that they could get through to the knockouts. And Real Madrid, I think, is not having, as I've said in previous videos, they are not having the best season, but I never expected them to be 18th. And there's 36 teams, so they are literally half on the bottom half. And I didn't expect that out of them. I mean, I guess 6 points, 2 wins, which is the same as Bayern, unfortunately. But I don't know. I didn't think that they were gonna suck this season. So But then 4 teams that have surprised me are Sporting Lisbon, Lille, Monaco, and Brest. So I don't know how some of these teams are pulling off these results. I guess I really should have looked in to see who they played, but I did not expect them because Sporting is 2, Monaco is 3, and Brest is 4. And Lille is 14th. But the reason Lille surprises me is because they've had a big win over Real Madrid. 1-0 was the scoreline, but it's still shocking. Like, this little French club. I mean, okay, maybe they're not a little French club, but like, still, like, they're not as big as PSG, but they beat Real Madrid 1-0, and then they beat, maybe it was Juventus 1-0? Not 100% sure, but they beat another big team 1-0, I believe, as well. So, yeah. And then they drew their game this past week. So the teams that I have that are in the hunt, I really, really would like this to be Bayern, but I'm a little bit scared about how our last 4 games are going to play out, considering I predicted us to only have 2 losses at most, and we've already hit that. So I'm not overly happy about that. But pretty much any team with 6 points has the abilities to get within the top 8 to go through to the knockout stage.
Particularly AC Milan and Atleti. So play.
Yeah, and like, okay, so either like what we've said previously, or how they played this past week. They got a big result over Real Madrid, 3-1, like at Real Madrid. So that is a statement win for them. It's like, I don't know. I was not expecting that scoreline. I was expecting them to lose, and they didn't. They came out and they won 3-1. It was a little bit shaky there for a little bit, but they came out and they won at the Bernabeu. So that's huge. That's a statement win for them. And then with Atleti, they just beat PSG, and they've been doing pretty good in Liga as well. So I would not want to face either of those two, home or away. Did you?
Okay, so here are the teams to be scared of. We have Liverpool. They are currently undefeated in both Premier League and the Champions League. 1 goal against them in the Champions League play. And then, do you have any points on Liverpool?
I just like the atmosphere that the club puts on. I would not want to play them at their home field at Anfield. I would not want to play them there at all. And Real Madrid has a game there within the next match day or 2, so I would not want to be Real Madrid walking in there, because you might lose pretty bad after what this next team has done to you.
And then, of course, we have Barcelona. Their defense high line makes it difficult to play through. Have had offside called on opponents over 100 times this season. And a lethal front 3 of Robert, I don't want to say his name wrong, living, yeah, because I've heard you said it. Okay, moving on. Rafinha and Lamine Yamal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Barcelona thrashed Bayern 4-1. But we're not going to talk about that. That's not important. That's not relevant. 8-2. Anyways, but yeah, Barcelona are having a really good season, and like I said, they just beat Real Madrid like 5-0 or something like that as well. They are playing really good. Hansi Flick has really revived the team and brought in like these good ideas, especially with the defensive high line, as we just said 100 times on their opponents. Like, that's just incredibly hard to play through, number one. And when Bayern did it, they tried to play the high back line as well, but Barcelona just does such an efficient job at it. It's just hard to time your runs perfectly. You have to play perfectly against Barcelona, otherwise you're not You're not beating them.
Yeah.
And then here are some of the scores from this past week. So, as I said in our video, our main podcast video, I said Bayern beat Benfica 1-0. Jamal Musiala scored our goal in the 67th minute. We had 74% of possession and we had 10 corners, and we really should have won by more than one goal. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Then here are a couple other scores. We have Dynamo beats Bratislava 4-1. Celtic beats RB Leipzig 3-1, and Lyle and Juventus tie 1-1.
And then PSV beat 10 men Girona 4-0. US men's national team Malik Tillman scored a goal in the 33rd minute, and then Girona got a red card in the 55th minute again, so they were losing, I believe it was 3-0 at that point. No, it was 2-0 at that point. And then another PSV player scored in the 83rd minute, and then Girona scored an own goal in the 88th minute. Not a great way to end that game.
Then we have Liverpool beats Leverkusen 4-0. Sporting beats Lisbon 4-1. Monaco beats Bologna 1-0. I think I'm always gonna butcher that name.
You and me both. And then, of course, we have the big result. AC Milan beating Real Madrid 3-1 at the Bernabeu. Crazy game. Vinny had a penalty to score, well, not to score, but he had a penalty to tie the game in the first half. It was 1-1. And then Alvaro Morata scored against Real Madrid, his old club, to bring the game to 2-1, and then one of Milan's midfielders scored the last goal in like the 78th minute, something like that. It was very well played from Milan. I did not expect them to come out and be playing as they were. I thought for sure it was gonna be 3-1 the other way. But I will take the result from the USMNT boys, Christian Pulisic and Jonas Musa, both who started, and Musa who played a big defensive part in stopping Vinny and the rest of the Real Madrid attack.
Then we have Shakhtar win 2-1 over Young Boys. We have Club Brugge beat Aston Villa 1-0.
And then Dortmund won 1-0 over Sturm. Now, this result I'm not that happy with. Even though Dortmund is very high up on the table, they are within the top 8. And a 1-0 win over like a club that's not that great is not good from Dortmund at all. They had 67% of possession and 11 corners, and they only won by 1 goal. That's not good for them, especially because they had the game at home too. Why did they not win by more than 1? But again, that kind of goes to Bayern as well. Bayern did the same thing, but
and then we have RB Salzburg winning 3-1 over Tidman Finard. Then we have Atleti beats PSG 2-1, and then we have Brest beats Sparta 2-1.
And then Barcelona won 5-2. Robert Lewandowski had a brace of 2 goals. They had 70% of the possession, and they had 9 offsides against their opponents called in this game. It just shows how good their back line really is. Even though they did give up 2 goals, that's still nothing. 9 offsides is a lot.
Insane. And then we have Inter over Arsenal 1-0 and Atlanta over Stuttgart 2-1.
And that's the end of our episode for you guys. Or not episode, our little bonus video for you talking about the Champions League. Don't forget, if we hit 100 subscribers, we get to do our giveaway. So please help us get to 100 subscribers. We really do enjoy making this content for you guys. there will be more bonus videos to come, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. We're gonna work on filming some for you guys. And don't forget to leave a like, comment what you think, comment what you thought about last week's Champions League games. And if you think Vinny did deserve to win the Ballon d'Or, why he deserved to win. Don't forget to check out the links in our description. They link to our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I don't know what else it links to. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode or bonus episode.